What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, spawning in the red color, moving his villager off to the pond. Over in the left side of the map, but currently moving to the right side of the map with that villager. Dropping a dock as well, just in case you weren't sure who we're talking about. His name is Moore, and he's playing as Oranos. His opponent today in the blue color, also sending his villager, not a villager, but an Olsark down to the bottom side here. His name is Mr. Boat, and he's playing as Odin. Game number one went to Moore with some very, very clean Oranos play in the start of that series there. Game number two here, different map, different matchup. Same matchup? Different map, same matchup. We'll see if there's going to be a different result here. Obviously, I love the three-game series, so different result would be wonderful. So we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to turn up, how it's all going to wrap up as the fishing ships popping out onto this location already for Moore. The most important thing here for Moore is to make sure he can continue getting those citizen out nice and fast. He does find himself some beautiful elk on this location, so that walking time out to this dock going to be great for him here. Almost a perfect start if you have to, if you ask me, for a map where Atlantean players have to move quite a way to get their dock up. But we'll see how things are going to go here. Now, as opposed to the last game on Oasis, this map, Tundra Pools, you just get so much more food. There's hunt. There's safe fish. It's definitely safe for Mr. Boat at the very least here. But there's hunt, there's safe fish, there's so much food here, which is going to allow Mr. Boat to mass Ulfsark or mass raiding cavalry, do whatever he wants here in the classical age and have a very fun time. Moore, on the other hand, is going to have to figure out a response to whatever Mr. Boat is going to be going for here. Now, Moore has got two options. So option number one here is he can go for like a delayed classical age, which I don't particularly like. I really like a 430 classical age here. The idea being that you send your oracles forward, you see where the dock is going up, and you keep an eye on the top side with the idea of potentially trying to take that out really easily. And then you drop the dock up this side and put the fishing ships out while you're going to the classical age. Because there's enough fish down the bottom here with 6 fish here, you can basically advance to the classical age first, 430. By the time you hit the classical age, you will have the majority of the fish, if not all of the fish, out, and you're going to be in a really, really good spot. We do see the dock coming up now for Mr. Boat, and you can see that it probably would not have been stopped here nonetheless. But just an idea here. We'll see if Moore's kind of more delayed classical age here is going for a 5... I believe he's going for a 515 here. 505? A 505 here. I believe that's true. So we see some more fishing ships coming out. Mana coming up for Moore as well. As the scout will spot this dock is up and Mr. Boat, temple in his base. As Moore's final citizens should be coming out, the fishing ships should be able to help him get to the next age relatively fast here. He does have an Orc over here. He's deciding not to eat, but the Freya is on the way right now for Mr. Boat, so he's going to have somewhat of an advantage here. Somewhat of an advantage here in the early stages of this game. Do see the walls coming down over here for Mr. Boat as well. And I like this play here from Moore, but he does have to be a little bit careful about it. So grabbing outside gold mines first as Atlantean is a really smart way to play around any sort of early aggression or mid-game aggression, because it allows you to leave the gold mine in your main base open for quite some more time to help you go. But if you leave this citizen out in the middle of the map, chances are he's going to get attacked and potentially lost. So this gold mine here is a bit of a risk here for Moors is about to hit that next age as the classical age for Mr. Boat comes through her. So getting trained here as well. As he does find a relic on this position. The Mithril Horseshoes has come through here for Mr. Boat. She's going to help him out a ton. I wonder if he does end up going for raiding cavalry here instead of like the classic Ulfsark, as the Oracle's sitting back, going to be looking to defend as the Valkyrie moving across the map here as well. I'm going to find something to attack here. But there's the Longhouses starting to come down for Mr. Boat. It looks like... yeah, he's just going for safety. I like the play. Defend the docks. He doesn't have to worry about it. Walls go up everywhere. There's going to be no pressure, which more can apply to Mr. Boat on this map. He's got back Auroch. He's got back Elk. He's got a ton of wood income here with a back large gold mine. In terms of maps, which are really tough to play from the Atlantean perspective, this has got to be one of the best possible maps you could hope for an Odin player. So we'll see if Moore's going to be able to work out how strong Mr. Boat's map is here. If we take a quick look into his into Moore's perspective, he's only now just starting to scout out what's happening over here. But he's not going to really know, as military buildings coming down. We've got the counter barracks, military barracks, and a second military barracks coming in. Do we see purse scene is in? Yes, we do. For both players here, yes, we do. So that food income is going to be shooting up for both players at this point. Mr. Boat getting himself raiding cavalry. He's got the 6.6 speed raiding cavalry all ready. Now, he does have to be careful. More grabbing a second town center. I'm not sure I 100% like this play. Whenever you've got fish in a game, a significant amount of fish, 12 fish is a significant amount of fish. Grabbing a town center sets you back so much that your opponent is going to be able to hit a timing on that before the town center can pay itself off. And you will always find yourself in a difficult position grabbing this town center. I would have preferred to see more go heroic age here instead of this town center and tried to make that work. But we'll see if this is going to be able to pop up here for more, and if he's going to be able to find some sort of an advantage where that's concerned. Now, the raiding cavalry are going to be moving across the map here. Mr. Boat should be splitting that Valkyrie out away from the raiding cavalry. It's not that useful here. It slows the raiding cavalry down a little bit here. As the army comes through, he does spot the town center on the way up. Mr. Boat getting a little bit of damage done before he does decide to turn around, start taking those Murmillo down. More Murmillo coming in onto this position as more units for Mr. Boat in the defense over here. A bunch of units queued up for Mr. Boat as we do see a bit of a shockwave coming in as the town center getting closer and closer. But Mr. Boat here, he can just say, look, no worries. I just go heroic age. It's all good. As we see one Terma getting taken down, the Thrown Axeman getting some good damage done onto those Murmillo as they are going to be pulled back over there. And now Mr. Boat looks like has he clicked up to the next stage? Yes, he has. So a 9-minute, 15-second heroic age coming through here for Mr. Boat. We do see the units trying to break through the wall over here as the Thrown Axeman going to come up onto that position. Now, the real big question is, what does Moore do at this point? Does he keep... He obviously is building all of the military he possibly can, but would it have been a better idea to just go heroic age instead of sitting full pop classical age here? Is the big question, because then he would have had access to Arcus to deal with those Thrown Axemen, and also have access to some Stymphalian birds to potentially deal with Frost Giant spammage that could be coming his way. Mr. Boat still not ready to push out of his main base. He's sitting at 100 of 115 population in. No upgrades just yet. Plenty of resources in the bank as he is looking to defend as best as he possibly can. Good micro on those Thrown Axemen from Mr. Boat, but he doesn't re-queue that. There he goes. Nice play there, not allowing his Thrown Axemen to move too far away from Moore's strong micro there. As the army pushing through, Frost's going to be getting dropped down onto this position. And Mr. Boat here pumping more units up. And I would be surprised to see no market dropped here for Mr. Boat. And him grab, like, if Mr. Boat's plan isn't to just go straight for an early Ragnarok here, not sure what his plan actually is. As we do see Hyperion coming through for Oranos. Now, what's the counter to a really, really fast Ragnarok? Villages everywhere. Military buildings everywhere. We'll have to wait and see if that's what Mr. Boat is actually going to be going for. He moves on to the back gold mine over here as well. As Mr. Boat's Frost just about to finish up here. The Terma coming in to get some good damage done. But we're going to have to retreat back, and Mr. Boat just gets a huge advantage now, basically erasing the Moor army. Moor leaves this army with full population, right? And he leaves it with 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 16 population plus 2, so 20 population there. He leaves that fight. We do see Chaos getting dropped down, hitting that Frost Giant. Nice play from Moor to make sure he hit the Frost Giant, as another one will be coming out. But Mr. Boat is on the warpath. He's about to hit heavy infantry and lone wanderer, as Ulfsar can just start getting spammed out here in this game. So the citizen getting pulled back there. Caraballister gets taken down. There's Cinema Miller getting cleaned up there, as well as the Satyrs popping out to start taking down some of those throwing axemen. You do have to be careful in your main base. There's an Arid there for Moor. That's a big population investment. I think he does notice it and he does delete it. Nice play from Moor. Or good awareness, I should probably say, from Moor. As the Caraballister getting cleaned up on that position, but does manage to survive there as the Valkyrie does get killed off there. As Hunter's Axe queued up. Heavy infantry just about to pop here as Mr. Boat queuing units up as best as he can. He's actually not using auto queue in this game. Funnily enough, I don't think he is. He's just making sure he's building the exact right units as the Forest Fire gets dropped down to keep the throwing axemen alive. That will be able to pick off this military barracks, I assume. As the heavy Ulfsark now pushing through, and Moor's getting himself Jimino, which is a huge boost to the Satyr damage. But he's going to need more than that to deal with what Mr. Boat's going to be making here, especially because a Ragnarok is always on its way for Mr. Boat. Mr. Boat is one of the... Whenever I play Mr. Boat, I feel like he gets Ragnarok when he shouldn't. He's one of those players who gets to that Mythic Age in a position that I feel like he just shouldn't be able to get to. And I feel like this game is going to be a very, very stark reminder of that fact. As look at the resources piling up here. We see copper weapons, but Mr. Boat just going for a more safe hill fort on this position as the Valor gets clicked down. Going to be hitting a couple of those Mermilla. I'm sure that Moor would have liked to have maybe some of those Arcus get heroized there to be able to take down the Frost Giants. As the throwing axemen pulling back. Mr. Boat still not able to push out of his base. And we do see Helios as the god of choice there. Nope, deciding Hecate instead. Not quite sure which Mythic Age god would be better here. Obviously, Helios will allow Moor to teleport around the map a little bit easier, having a much stronger late game with those stronger siege weapons. But Hecate's going to give access to the Lampede, which Moor desperately needs to deal with the Fire Giant, deal with the Frost Giants. Super important. The other thing that Moor needs here, and he's got to be well aware of it here, is that Ragnarok is coming. Whether he wants it to or not, Ragnarok is on the way. So Moor needs to start thinking about palaces getting dropped down in these corners, over here, on town centers, all of the stuff to kind of defend against a relatively big Ragnarok. It's like I said, relatively big, it's relatively small Ragnarok, but relatively big for this stage of the game. also, he's got to realize that with the 12 fishing ships being available, for Mr. Boat, those don't get turned into rag heroes. So he's going to have to figure out how he's going to deal with those as well. So we do see the palace coming up. At the very least here, Moore will be able to drop that Tartarian gate in the main base. And he's going to be able to start getting more and more fanatics out. But the most important thing here for Moore is that he forces Ragnarok out as fast as he possibly can. We have seen Mr. Boat sneaking a town center on this position. The Tartarian gate's there. And the gold mine on the back here for Mr. Boat. 1,000 gold remaining. That means there's 100% going to be some sort of Mythic Age coming through. We will be seeing that Moore almost spots the town center going up, but he's just out of line of sight there. As one palace is up, Moore needs to continue to pile those palaces up in his main base. He can just leave the resources there just in case. He's getting himself stone wall, watchtowers, walls coming up all over the map here for Moore to try and hold on in this game as the gate gets broken down. Balder still not clicked up for Mr. Boat. He's got the resources as now he's going to be clicking up there as the Frost Giants will be able to deal with this Tartarian gate. Here's a couple of villages getting cleaned up. The army swinging around the back looking to try and take out those villages on the back here. Obviously forcing this Ragnarok out. It's going to be a really big deal. But the thing is here, if Moore can have like 3 or 4 palace out and be making nothing but fanatics and make sure that he keeps that Lampede alive and raring to go to take out myth units here, and he does manage to snipe one before retreating away. Lovely play. Just needs to make sure he retreats it all the way there. Should be in a good position. He's managed to stop the gold income. Mr. Boat has to pull back home. He's got himself 43 villages plus the town center up on this location over here. As another palace coming up, the walls are up for more. Does he have any armory upgrades is the next question. He does have copper mail, so decent, but obviously bronze mail would be another really big help. These units pushing in big damage coming in onto those villages underneath the town center. Moore really doesn't need these units anymore. He just wants fanatics and potentially some Mamillo here, but mainly just fanatics. As we're going to see a third town center coming up here as the units pulling back into this corner. There are still Satyr in this corner and Moore going to be able to sack into those villages. Oh, the damage from the Gemino up amplified Satyr there. As was basically a Chimera damage as we see a Chaos getting dropped onto this position as the rest of the units do end up getting cleaned up. Mr. Boat, 34 villages, tons of food, tons of wood. Asper blood coming through. What is that? I have not seen this in forever. This allows your Lampedes to deal 25 ranged damage when they die. I'm not sure why Moore is getting that. We do see a palace coming up. Still no Ragnarok getting clicked. We see the Lampede has been caught out of position there as it does fall. Wait, did he cancel the upgrade? I think he must have. He must have cancelled that upgrade as we do see the Frost Giant now going to be able to actually take out the Fire Giant here. That's so huge. The Frost Giant, unless Mr. Boat kills this Frost Giant just kills the Fire Giant and he's all good as we're still seeing Moore trying to push forward. He doesn't have farms up just yet anywhere and it does look like the majority of the food has been eaten. So he might want to just get himself some farms here in the corner of the map or something and make sure he's nice and safe as the army coming through to take even more damage onto Mr. Boat here as the Frost Giant turns around and they do share the damage yet again as some old suck are out here. Mr. Boat's got plenty of resources in the bank. He's just not spending it here at this point. So we'll see what's going to happen. There's some towers coming up on this position. Remember, all Moore needs to do here is force a Ragnarok, but he's just not able to at this point. He's trying to set up. He doesn't have fortified town centers just yet, but he does have architects decent army out for Mr. Boat at this point. So we do see one fire giant pops out, a couple more fire giant queued up here for Mr. Boat. He's going to be trying to push across the map now, stopping this potential town center from coming up. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, that's where Moore's army is, as he needs to be in a little bit of a more solid position. Guard towers coming up, champion infantry, fortified town centers, crenellations, as the army starting to trade on this position here. Another palace up over here, trying to get some damage done onto the fishing ships here. This watchtower will actually be able to kill those fishing ships if Moore micros it, as Mr. Boat going up to 3 town centers here. As Moore is, I mean, he's putting a lot of resources into defending, which obviously he's going to need to do, but just the threat of this Ragnarok has allowed Mr. Boat back into this game in a big way. As the champion infantry coming through, you're going to try and get some good damage done onto these villages, but there's too much army here for Mr. Boat. As Mr. Boat now gets himself the town center, gets himself champion infantry, heavy archers is coming through for more. We see 50 villages for Mr. Boat. He's more than happy to just get those villages out, as the Ulfsark Huskal chasing the infantry into the corner there. As finally we see one Norse player. Just one. Why rag when you don't need to? Market coming up in the corner as well. Moore is trying to win without the rag. Sorry, Mr. Boat is trying to win without the rag, and Moore is in... I mean, what can he do? He needs to put pressure on someone. He needs to get some like fire siphon out, or some useless units out, or something. Not useless, but units that don't counter a rag out. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I've lost my brain. My brain's lost. That's how it is. That's all it is. Well, we'll be losing this palace as well to this fire giant if he's not careful. Making heavy arcs against the Ulfsark. Obviously a good unit composition here with the fanatics to help out as well, as the fire giant does end up getting sniped here. Mr. Boat now at 144 of 145 population. He's got himself 56 villages, 6 ox caravans to boot here as well, as we do see a palace up on this location. Meanwhile, Moore building himself his own trade route over here, starting to get that one into gear. It's a fire siphon pushing through here to try and take down the town center as well. As the fire giant yet again back out for Mr. Boat. I'm surprised to see Moore not utilizing the Lampede more here in this game. It's a vitally important unit to be dealing with enemy fire giants or enemy colossus or anything huge that your opponent can make in terms of myth units. As we do see a sky passage now coming up for Moore, trying to put some pressure onto several different locations here. As the villagers are slowly climbing further and further up. Hasmore got himself some more armory upgrades. Not just yet. Mr. Boat, on the other hand, full bronze here. Mr. Boat doesn't need to click rag. I mean, he can, and he can probably win with it at this point, but he just doesn't need to. He's getting full upgrades. The problem is, for every Norse player, is that, against Atlantean, is that champion fanatics beat the entirety of this army. So the fact that Moore isn't just going mass fanatics here is a bit of a confusing one for me. I'm sure he understands that the fanatics are incredibly strong here. Fire Giant's one of the best. Fire Giant's one of the best units in the game. Yes, definitely the Fire Giant. One of, if not the best myth unit in the game. As we do see the 22-minute Ragnarok here. As Mr. Boat, no resources left in the bank. But he does know he needs to take out this palace and he needs to push through here. Make sure that his trade route is set going. He's going to be breaking through here as well. Do see the army of Moore coming in onto this position. He still has these Fire Giants to deal with over here. We see any attempt at a Lampede? No. No Lampede. The wall's coming, getting targeted down over here as the tower's coming up. Morg getting himself so many towers on this position to try and hold that town center. He doesn't have the towers over here, though, to hold on. So we do see a stray military barracks coming up in the corner of the map here to potentially take down the market or take down something on the back there as well. As more units streaming in onto this position, we do have stone walls. Towers are coming up. He's not managed. He does manage to get that one up, as all the towers will be up, but there's no units here to defend. As the army does pop out here, they will be able to pick off the Heroes of Ragnarok on this position. Mr. Boat's still sitting at 250 population, over 250 population. As the citizens are going to start falling here. Well, I wonder if Moore's going to try and rebuild them. I mean, he's got trade. He's got the villagers over on this position. The army does manage to push through here. The Hero Arcus getting a little bit of damage done to the Fire Giants. There's more army coming through onto this position to take out Moore's attempt going after this trade route. As the town center getting closer and closer to falling. Moore's towers and the town center getting some good damage done onto these Heroes of Ragnarok. But the Ragnarok heroes here have got themselves iron shields. So these arrows, they're just not that useful. More on the other hand here, he's got himself bronze weapons, no bronze mail, no resources in the bank. He's basically can just keep jumping around. We see another palace coming up over here trying to take down the Heroes of Ragnarok. He will be losing this town center. The other thing is here, Mr. Boat's got 9 fishing ships, 13 ox caravan. That means Mr. Boat can just grab town centers here and be in an even better position. So we do see this sky passage going to be getting taken down here. Fire Giants coming through here to try and deal with this as well. Moore is still sitting full population. The citizen's going to be making a break for it up to the top corner of the map here. As now Mr. Boat grabbing the town center on this position. This town center over here also looking mightily weak as well for Mr. Boat. I mean, if Moore can somehow just afford a fire siphon here to take the town center down, that would be absolutely huge. As this citizen in the top corner will end up falling. As Mr. Boat gets himself a 4th town center, villagers are going to start coming through. Plenty of resources here for Mr. Boat to find himself back into the game, economically speaking here. So now the units pushing through for Mr. Boat. It looks like, I mean, I do think that this location is kind of just as important as this top location here, but Mr. Boat is fully sent up to the top place over here as we do see the sky passage coming through. Moore could use a handful more buildings over here as we do see Secrets of the Titans coming through. That's a big investment for Moore here. I'm not sure that's what I personally would have just gone for armory upgrades. Not Titan Age, armory upgrades here would seem like a much better idea. He also needs to get the Lampedes out to deal with those Fire Giants as the Heroes of Ragnarok getting pushed back. And the army now breaks through. How's the hometown center of Moore looking? He's got 1 palace on this position. There's not really a whole lot over here. The army does break through this position here. More units coming back in for Mr. Boat to break through the military barracks here. We do see the Huskar going to be running straight after those Arcus. The Fire Giants in position as well. Start getting some serious damage done. We do see that, unfortunately, for Mr. Boat, he wastes that special ability there on the Fanatics as a whole bunch of Arcus heroes get converted. While they deal a decent amount of damage, they are taken down very fast by those Huskar. So he tries to retreat them back. I still think just making Lampede would have been a smarter move as the Arcus getting cleaned up over here. Units just waiting up on this position, repairing back that town center. Mr. Boat is at 14 villages. He's able to go up villages incredibly fast here. He can start the trade route as well if he so chooses. As the Titan Gate has come through now for more, but he can't use it. It's just too many units here. Where is he going to place the Titan Gate down? Potentially underneath this, or he could potentially put it over here. I think over here wouldn't be a bad idea, like right underneath the palace and everything else here. As the villager's now in position to drop that Titan Gate. We'll see if he's going to be able to make it work. Just go through the sky passage and drop it up here. Has to be the right move. As the Ulfsark now coming through, looking to get some sort of a damage onto the Moor trade route. We see the Titan Gate getting dropped in the main base here. I do wonder if the entirety of Mr. Boat's army is just going to wander over there, because a Titan at this point could be a real big assistance for Moor to hold on in this game. You do see one Fire Giant manages to get sniped down there by Moor, as the second one going to be getting targeted down here. It's killed so slowly. It's got so much armor there. There's more units coming through here. 4 more. He's got those Hero Archers to start taking down the other Fire Giant. One of the big weaknesses of dropping a Titan Gate, especially in these sorts of positions, is that now those citizens are not gathering resources. 8 citizens plus these ones pushed off. Moor is in a very difficult position. But Mr. Boat here, he's now dropped down in population quite considerably. But he's got the villagers out. 33 villagers, 11 ox caravans. Decent position to be in. Meanwhile, on this position, more citizen getting found out over here. Still haven't seen more. Apparently, I don't think he's microed that tower at all in this game, unfortunately. More retreats back into his home town center, trying to keep those citizens alive ever so slightly. So that Titan Gate is now on the way. And Mr. Boat does not really have an answer for it, in all honesty. As the units push through here, he's going to be losing those. More villagers coming out for Mr. Boat. He's actually stopped villager production basically completely. He's only got the one villager. So what do you do as Norse to deal with a Titan? Because as Greek, the answer is Heliopoli and your heroes. As Egyptian, the answer is Mass Priest. What is the answer for Norse, which isn't just Click Ragnarok? Well, the answer's got to be Ballista Fire Giant, Hersir. You make those units. The problem is that the Ballista can't really chase the Titan around. So you kind of have to just make Hersir. Jarl's not really a good idea, because the Titan can kill them in 1 or 2 hits, as opposed to the Hersir. The Titan has got a huge debuff against heroes. That's why Hersir are great. This also doesn't do that much damage against siege weapons as well, or myth units. So the Fire Giant's going to be able to break down this sky passage, continuing to push through. It's a decent amount of units here for Mr. Boat, but I mean, he hasn't, I don't know if he's got the economy here. Is the army starting to break through onto this position, looking to hit the trade route? Some very scary units here for Moor, with those 7 Fnatic, more Fnatic coming through here as well for Moor, as Mr. Boat has to pull back. That's such a strong army from Moor here. As the Titan Gate just about up. The big problem with the Titan Gate is that it takes 20 population, so there's a little bit of a timing here. If Moor loses some units while that Titan is up, that Mr. Boat can cause some problems here. So Mr. Boat has managed to clean up the majority of stuff that is over here, and this army just hanging out on this position. As we see, Mr. Boat very smartly just cancels the Ox Cart for the time being. He's sitting in position to defend against this. He's got himself the Fire Giant, the Ballista over here, Mythic Rejuvenation coming through for the Titan. As this town center, not going to be long for this world, will be getting taken out. As Mr. Boat brings his army around to this top side. He's got himself 6 Ballista, 7 Ballista, 2 Fire Giant, 3 Fire Giant. Down the bottom, 6 Fire Giant here. He's got a sizable army. As the town center will be getting cleaned up on this position. And we'll see if Moor can fight his way back in. We do see 6 citizens making their way forward here for Moor to grab this town center back for himself. It looks to me like he still has... He's got decent upgrades now, actually, sitting with the bronze, full bronze here. As the Titan going to be pushing through. Look at all the Hersir. Is this going to be the quickest killed Titan you've ever seen or not is the big question. The ballast starting to get some big... I'm interested in exactly how much damage this does. Because at the moment, it just looks like the HP just gets tanked so fast. A whole bunch of hero archers coming in to try and deal with those fire giant here. As the... I mean, you just use the baluster onto the ball of archers and you can kill them off very, very fast. And that's exactly what Mr. Boat has seen here. As the Titan is able to pick off those Hursa relatively fast here. The Titan hasn't been able to do anything. Just move the Titan through onto like the... You can pick off a baluster relatively fast. You do see some hero Contarius coming in to take out these units here. As the Titan coming in, gonna start bashing at these baluster. I think it can 2-hit the baluster if it... And also, obviously, the pound attack is really, really strong as well. As the fire giant just about to fall on this position. The rest of Mr. Boat's fire giants are falling. Mr. Boat's got not a whole lot of resources left in the bank. As more pushes in, try and take down this town center here. The ballast is still getting some decent damage done. But more now with the idea of making Contarius to take down these, not only take down these fire giants, but also take down these baluster. It's a really great idea. And with Mr. Boat losing this town center, Moore is going to have a huge advantage here. But he does still need to get himself back up to the citizen limit that he was kind of at before. I mean, he does have a decent amount of trade going. There's the villagers for Mr. Boat moving up to the top corner there. Town center is down. Titan down to 4,000 HP, however. As Mr. Boat is trying to make the late game dream here. The late game dream work. Baluster Fire Giant. Can he take down a Titan? Is the big question. And the Titan is getting closer and closer to falling here. As Moore's got 27 favor in the bank. But he needs to... he needs to basically use it on heroes or get himself out some Lampedi to deal with those Fire Giant yet again. As the Baluster trying to retreat away. They are going to be falling here as some more Contarius coming in to deal with these units here. Mr. Boat going to be losing those as well as sitting at 130 of 140 population. Those ballasts are all falling on that position there as more Hursa coming in to try and take out the Titan. If he wants to come over and try and take out this fortified town center as well, wouldn't be a bad idea as we do see some more hero archers coming in. In terms of units that are the best to take out a fire giant, those Contarius, those fanatics are it. They do so much damage to the fire giant because 60% hack armor versus 80% hack armor. As more fire giants are getting cleaned up here. And it seems the Titan call from Moore is going to be able to help carry him through in this game. As, I mean, he can also just pull back and let the Titan heal a little bit if he wants to. There's another fire giant going to be getting taken out here. More fire giants are getting created. So I'm pretty sure these baluster do give favor over to the... sure this... Where's he going with the Titan? Keeping himself alive and healthy. Wait, is he going to go for... Don't go for a raid on the villagers. Oh, dear. Every moment he leaves this, he just gives Mr. Boat more opportunity to rebuild his baluster. And while this Titan will be able to heal back up, it heals at what? 2 HP a second. In order to heal up from, let's just say 1 HP, that is 3,499 seconds that need to pass. That's a lot of seconds. Is that an hour? I don't know how much it is. The palace is now up. The unit's trying to break through. While Moore is on 3 town centers, technically speaking, with his Titan just sitting idle on this position, he's actually only on 2 town centers. He's putting up another palace over here as the unit's still pushing through, trying to take down the baluster, which Mr. Boat has set up. Mr. Boat could be using this opportunity to try and set up some walls and a box for his ballista to start sieging this town center over there. There's now more ready to start moving forward. He can push into the main base if he wants, take that town center down. As the army of Mr. Boat out of position. This is going to be, if Moore simply just ignores this army and just goes to the main town center, it would force the ballista to chase this away, and Moore could then get himself this town center while all the units are getting chased away. As one fire giant does get taken out, there's still a handful of those hero archers remaining here. The Elf sucks out for Mr. Boat to try and hold on here. Moore's still struggling for resources. He gets his palace up. Still no town center to come just yet. As the Titan getting closer and closer to falling here. I genuinely believe taking the town center down is worth it, especially if your opponent's got like mass ballista. It means they don't have that many infantry units here. But nice job here from Moore to deal with the Titan as it for Mr. Boat to deal with the Titan here. It's down to 800 HP. As Moore is wanting to keep it alive, retreating it away. It's not the biggest of assistance, being 700 HP and up the top of the map. As Moore still trying to push through. The big thing about the ballista is even against destroyers who have got 69% pierce armor, the ballista does separate damage types. So every arrow is basically doing 2 damage a second against the champion destroyer. So it's still doing a decent amount of damage when it hits those destroyers. As the Titan still sitting, watching, waiting. Both players with decent amounts of resources in the bank here. As Moore still not ready to take that town center. He's just kind of dilly-dallying on this position, trying to get a little bit of HP back. I'm not sure what the plan is there. I mean, if the problem right now with Mr. Boat's army comp, the only problem is there's no walls, there's no towers. So a big counter to this for Mr. Boat, for Moore, not Mr. Boat, for Moore, I can't get the names right. It's too much M's, too many M's. Would be to just get a whole bunch of Contaris out here and just run them straight in to clean up all the ballastas straight away. The destroyer's seemingly working fairly nicely as well, though. As Moore is still waiting, buying his time, trying to get some HP back on that Titan. And there's a temple coming up on this position to try and get a couple more of those fire giants out. It looks like Mr. Boat at this point actually doesn't have any temples up. So this is a really, really important building here for Mr. Boat to help him stay alive. As we see engineers coming through for more. He could be thinking about going for some fire ciphers to try and deal with these ballista. Now Moore pushes back in as he's finally realizing, you know what? No Titan, that's fine. I'm going to come in, pick off a couple more ballista, and let my Titan fall here. There's another fire giant going to be coming out. We do see a sky patches coming through for Moore, as Moore's now pushing in onto the town center on this bottom side of the map here. Moore's very, very low on the population, though. He's trying to get more palaces out over here, and the town center of Mr. Boat will be falling, pushing Mr. Boat back down to 140 of 120 population here. But the question is, can Moore hold this down or not? As the units swinging back over here, the fire giant is in, the fire siphon retreating back. Moore is just, I mean, how many barracks does he have? Just build a ton of barracks and make some Contarias here to break through these ballastas. If you allow watchtowers to come up, then it doesn't work. We do see some... Yep, ballista are strong. Ballista are strong. Don't get it twisted. When I say ballista, I say strong. The town centers for the moment here, though, by Moore, have been kept down. He's pushing forward. He's trying to take the fire giants out. The fire siphons of Mort do seemingly look like they have been taken out here. There's towers coming through here. The fire siphons are out for more, but the ballast, they can actually take down these fire siphons as well fairly easily. There's another citizen falling there. Moore's got 23 caravans, 12 fishing ships, 13 villages. So his economy is still relatively strong here. Nice marker there from Moore to pull back his fire siphon. Is the other fire siphon going to be able to clean up these towers? The ballast are getting cleaned up as well, as this town center is still not able to go up for Mr. Boat here. Mr. Boat is struggling for population. He's 110 of 110 population. So he's also missing a house here. There's more fire giant coming out for Mr. Boat as well. There's what chance really here does Mr. Boat have? The army still trying to break through here. I mean, the real chance here is the fact that it looks like Moore could do with about, I don't know, 5 more llama caravans in these positions, so he could kind of afford everything, as we do see the units coming through, and Mr. Boat can be taking the opportunity to convert some Ulfsark here to break through. He's got a huge mini Ragnarok coming in onto this position right now to clean everything up, to try and get himself this town center back, as Moore has to retreat back ever so slightly here. And this is something that Odin players can do in the late game over and over and over again in order to push themselves above the population cap and steal back a town center, put some buildings up or anything else. Some citizens are looking to grab this town center for the time being. A couple of idle units here for Moore he needs to sort out. As the ballast is still in position here for Moore. But so for Mr. Boat, as Moore still hasn't worked out how to deal with this. He's got a whole bunch of units popping out of the sky passage for the time being. The Ulfsark going to be retreating back here. Ballasters rolling back as now the town center is back up for Mr. Boat. Managing to get that one there as Moore's trying to get this town center up for himself. But to me, it looks like there's a fire giant here. And Moore still has not gotten himself out those Lampedes here to kind of deal with that. As the army coming through, a couple of hero units going to be popping out here as the Ulfsark pushing in onto this position. The Ballaster here as well to stop this from going up. Moore's got no resources in the bank. He's got 7 citizen forward here out of a total of 12. So 7 citizen not gathering there out of a total of 12 means his economy is just so absurdly hurting here. On the other side of the coin here, looks like Mr. Boat has only got 11 ox caravans, and that's like more than enough for him. And his trade route, I mean, his trade route is not doing anything. He's getting like 4 gold an ox caravan. He could put the market in the corner here and actually trade up to this position, and that would be relatively efficient there. As Mr. Boat is just trading hyper efficiently here, and Moore cannot work out. Moore cannot work out how to get through here. One thing that I probably would have liked Mr. Boat to do is, instead of converting all of his gatherers to Ulfsarks, convert his dwarfs to Ulfsarks. Would be a little bit more efficient on the resources here, as Mr. Boat, he's got no resources in the bank at this moment, but he is managing to push forward. I get a little bit mad that these ballasts are getting so much value without any walls getting set up. Build Contarius. Imagine Contarius heroes here as well. Iron weapons now coming through for Mr. Boat as he's trying to break through this location here. Arcus just not a good answer to this composition in the slightest here. As the Ballaster are also pushing over on this side as well. These Ballaster are just getting so much value being out in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, Moore's got to be feeling a little bit helpless here. He's kind of, he hasn't tried everything. He hasn't tried the Contarius, but he's got to be feeling like, man, My fanatics aren't working. My Arcus aren't working. My destroyer aren't working. How do I kill these ballista? And this is what I'm talking about. Imagine if there was walls here as well by Mr. Boat. This building's getting cleaned up over there. The ballast can now start rolling in to take down the palace, the fortified town center on this position as well. The thing is here that I think the big thing here is that Mr. Boat doesn't seem to be building more villages. So he can't continue to do that Villager Ragnarok. So while Mr. Boat's got a decent amount of wood in the bank right now, if Moore can somehow like win a fight and pick off all of these ballista, he should be able to push back here. But he's just not able to, as these ballista just... Even against the destroyers, they've got 69% HP. They just melt. They just melt to the oomph that is this ballista. And the thing is, not like ballista do area of effect damage, right? Well, not really area of effect damage, but if the units are in a bunch, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I could be wrong about that. Do multiple Arcus get hit by the ballista? They must do. The Arcus getting cleaned up over there. The ballista rolling forward here. And those military barracks going to be going down as well, as it seems like Mr. Boat will be able to get himself this town center very, very shortly. As the ballista are able to push through onto this position, looking to take out this thing here. And finally Moore realizes he can make some Contarius here. Pushing through this location, going to be looking to try and take this out. Is there another sky passage up on this side? There is. As the Contarius trying to break through. He's got this position he needs to defend as well, though. As the Contarius finally going to be able to push in onto this location. And those ballista now, well, they can pick off some Contarius relatively quickly there as well. But all the ballista will get cleaned up. As in the 46th minute, Moore has worked it out. He picks off every one of those ballista, but is it too little too late? Mr. Boat getting himself a settlement here on this location. As now we see the units pushing through. The thing is that the Contarius are only good against the ballista, so you have to be consistently changing the way in which you're organizing your army to take out the ballista and then take out the Ulfsark and then take out everything and everything and everything. As Moore is desperately trying to keep this town center from going up here, as some Fnatic moving in onto this position. Moore with the 3 town centers sitting at 159 and 160 population against the 130 population. Mr. Boat simply just not able to push in here, as we see some more Hero Contarius coming in to try and take out the Fire Giant. Meanwhile, over on this position, the Ballista, they could be taking out that Sky Passage, but they're yet to work that one out. As the Hero Contarius going after those Fire Giants, trying to take them out as fast as they possibly can. Town center here, still not up, but it's getting close. As Mr. Boat is able to push through here with just so few ballista. As one citizen does fall. And Mr. Boat, I mean, he's taking his time. He's appreciating the late game here, to say the very least. As now we do see that Moore has realized he can now go away from the Contarius to try and break through this position, as Mr. Boat's pushed back. Town center has been denied. We see some more pallets getting thrown up on this position or not is the big question. As Mr. Boat still trying to break through over here. Sky Passage will go down. Moore can throw up another one in a more defensive position here. 2 Fire Giants on this position here as well. As the Hero Contarius coming in. There is Heart of the Titans for those Contarius, so they're a little bit cheaper than they otherwise would be. Now the town center of Moor starting to get taken down, but Contarius coming in to snipe down those ballista here. Nice play. We'll be able to pick off every single one of them, most likely, though the Ulfsark are in. They're not like they're Bragi Ulfsark or anything. As Moor is pushed back over here. Moor needs to... These kind of late game situations, and I think part of the reason Mr. Boat is playing this so well, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if Mr. Boat watches this, but Mr. Boat is not using auto queue very much at all. You see him using it, but he's consistently changing the unit comps that he's making. And Moor, he needs to be doing the same thing here. When you see no ballista remaining, the Contarius need to get stopped producing. You need to stop producing the Contarius and go back in to those fanatics. Moor has got not full armory. Neither does Mr. Boat. Mr. Boat's missing a little bit of armory here as well. As the hero arc is coming through to try and take out those fire giants. But there's just so many Ulfsark here. And meanwhile, we do see Moor going yet again for this town center with 9 citizen. As the army over here distracting a little bit. But the town center will get stopped as the hero Contarius gets converted. But by the time he gets converted, he's at half HP. A little bit of distraction action there as the arc is going to get converted. And the fanatic here to try and take down this fire giant. As the arc is going to get cleaned up relatively fast over here as the ballista rolling into this position yet again. Moor's at 143 of 160 population. Still trying to get this town center up. But at this position... does look like Mr. Boat has prevented that for the time being. It's the more Arcus coming through here to take out the fire giant. As the fire giant does fall, the village is going to continue to try and get this town center up. As the fire giant stops its damage onto the town center, it will start going up very, very fast. But meanwhile, we are seeing the town center of Moor very, very injured. We've got 3 fire giants on this position. The town center here with those throwing axemen targeting it down. Not going to be able to get it up just yet here. As the town center getting cleaned up. Some more Contarius coming through to try and take out those ballista on this position as the villagers get pushed off of this one here as well. Moor needs to get himself out. Hero Contarius to hold this town center. Those fire giants are cleaning that one up so fast as the town center over here still not going up either. More units have come through. Moor is now at 2 town centers, but he's almost back up to 3. But now there's a ballista in position as Moor's town center has been completely thwarted by that ballista being in position as Mr. Boat has inched his way to victory here in this game. He has absolutely inched his way forward as villagers roaming forward to try and shank palaces, grab wood lines and all the other stuff that's here. The ballista will be getting taken out. This is Ragnarok 2.0 coming in. Uros says so in the chat. More villagers getting cleaned up over here. The villager's going to come up to take up the top palace as well. Unfortunately for Mr. Boat, he does not have himself the food to really convert all these villagers into Ulfsarks here to make this push work, as the villagers 4 more going to be dropping a palace over here as well. As the citizen going to be retreating back. Lots of citizen idle in that sky passage over there, keeping themselves alive. As now Mr. Boat has got plenty of Ulfsark over here and start thinking about grabbing this town center for himself. Oh, I like the play from Mr. Boat, not even going for the town center. Instead, watchtowers on the trade route, stopping the gold economy of Moor. Now, Moor, sort of random barracks up there, but he could be dropping a market over there as well. As the unit's now going to be looking to, well, trying to keep the ballista alive here. But you can start looking to grab this town center fairly shortly. As the llama caravans... Moor has not been able to stop this. He hasn't retasked his llama caravans here just yet. This Powers coming up over here as well for Mr. Boat to try and secure this town center, or at least prevent it from going Moore's side, as he's going to be getting some fire siphon here. But I mean, at this point here, Moore just has no population, and he does end up tapping out in the 52nd minute mark. Losing your town center here against Norse. You just cannot do it, apparently. He almost gets this one up, but he's just too slow. He could not quite get it there. I think if he put more... I mean, obviously, I think Lampeter with the option here. Lampeter, Contarius, converting the Fire Giant, killing off those Ballista, then making Fanatics as the army changes. Would have been a really nice way to play. Moore should have been able to finish this game off, but Mr. Boat's Ballast are too strong. This is one of those games where you're just like, man, Norse, yes. Yes, Norse. I don't see any military units here for Moore here, actually. I can't look at his armory, but I'm pretty sure he just had bronze mail and bronze... Can I look here? Oh, wait, sure. There's one. Bronze mail and bronze weapons. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, I'm dead. Pleasure sitting in the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game. A little bit of KD here with Mr. Boat doing all the good stuff. A little bit of resources over here with Mr. Moore having an exceptional amount more resources, but it doesn't matter. See you in the next game.